Hi friends, welcome to B2A Coding. Let's begin our coding journey. As we are beginning from the level 0, let's start with HTML5. If you do not have any knowledge about coding, there is nothing to worry, because we teach the very basics initially. To begin coding, we need a text editor to write our codes. Text editor is just an application in which we type text. In our case, it would be called as codes. There is a lot of free and paid text editors available for coding purposes, but to have a simple start, let me show you how we can use a Notepad to write HTML codes. Alright, so we are at the interface of the Notepad. So if you're trying to code HTML, we need to use the HTML tags. It starts with a left angle bracket and closes with a right angle bracket, and the name of the tag is given in between them. So the very first tag we might use is the doc type HTML. It doesn't actually give any content or anything with the web page. It only informs about the version of the HTML that we are using to the browser. Alright, so the important tag is the HTML tag, because with the tag we open up an HTML file and we have to close the HTML tag as well. So it's kind of like this. We inform the type of the HTML that we are using to the browser, and then we are opening up an HTML file, and at this point we need to close the HTML file. So most of the tags in HTML needs to be closed, and to show that you just need to use a / just before the name of the tag that you're using. I have a simple HTML file here. Let me save it. I'm going to go to File, Save As. This is where I'm going to save it in. Let me name it as HTML in caps. So whenever you save an HTML file, you need to place .html as the extension, or you could also use .htm, which is exactly the same. Let me click on save. So this is where we have saved that file, and in front of the name you can see the browser's icon, which indicates that this is a web page. Let me click on it. Alright, so this is the web page that we have created, but for the moment the name of the tab is exactly on what we have saved. Let me show you how we can change that. Okay, I brought the Notepad over here. So the next tag that we're going to learn is the head, and let me close it as well. So we don't enter the content of the web page within the head. It may contain the links to CSS and JavaScript, which we'll learn in our upcoming videos. But we can bring up a title here. Let me open up a title. Let me say that I'm gonna give this is a first day. This is our first day. Alright, let me close it off as well. Alright, so we have a title now. Let me go to File, Save. I'm gonna reload the page. I guess you can see the name of the tab has been changed to what we have given over here. Let me change the first as best. Again, save it. Reload. Right, so now the title is changed to this is our best day. Let me open up the next tag, which is the body tag, and we need to close the body tag as well. Okay, it's a very important tag because all the content that we enter within the web page is usually entered within the body. Let me type something. Let's say this is a sentence. So I need to click on File, Save, and Reload. So here it is. So the content entered in the body is shown in the web page. Now let's type something else. This is now a new line. This time I'm not going to click on File, Save. I'm directly going to reload it. It doesn't give anything, which means whenever we make an edit in the Notepad, we need to go to File and click on Save and reload the web page to get it done. We could also press Ctrl+S to save, but still we need to do that and also reload the page, which is somewhat time consuming. To overcome this, let me show you how we can use the Visual Studio Code. Okay, so this is the interface of the Visual Studio Code. So you can click on File, open up folder, or you can click on File and open files. To bring your files over here, you can keep multiple files and work it out over here. Or if you're using a mobile, I think this view would be too small. Let me make it big. I guess this size would be enough. Alright, so yeah, I'm gonna type as this is third line. So as usual, I'm gonna go to File, Save, or I can press Ctrl+S and I refresh the browser. So there it is. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to the file, right click it, click on Open with Live Server. That's a new tab, so I'm gonna close the old tab. Alright, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna type something like I'm not gonna click on refresh. I just pressed Ctrl+S and it's in the browser now. I'm gonna type as this is time saving. Again, Ctrl+S in the keyboard and it's there in the browser. So as you can see, this is time saving because I'm not going to press the reload button. And how we can use this is to click on the extensions, search for live server, and live server by retweet day. Click on that. So well, you just need to click on install, and as I have already installed, it shows me an install here. Okay, so let me get back to the file. Alright, so let me erase all this because it doesn't make any sense. So whenever we enter text into our web page, we use a paragraph tag to make it more organized. And as you can see, Visual Studio Code closes the tags automatically if that tag has to be closed. Let me type as this is some random text. Okay, I'm going to press on Ctrl+S and here it is. Oops, let's do something else. This is line 2 and this is line 3. Alright, I saved it and it doesn't look the way that I've entered over here in the browser. Alright, if you want to bring a line to the next line, you need to use the BR tag, which stands for break. That brings the sentence apart from that to the next line. Let me save it. So you can see the next two sentences have been taken to the next line. Let me use another BR tag. Okay, and you could also use the BR tag within a sentence as well. Somewhere by here? Yeah. Alright, so did you notice that we did not close the BR tag? It's because some of the tags need not to be closed. And another example for that kind of a tag is the HR tag. Let me place it over here. HR tag, it stands for horizontal row and it just draws a line horizontally. It doesn't have to be closed. So to make it look nice, we could also use the HR tag over here and maybe over here. Click on save. Now it looks pretty better, right? So yeah, this is all about the HR tag. Now let's go for the next important one. Let's say we want to create a list. So there are two ways to do that. The first way is to open up a UL tag. UL tag stands for unordered list, and to enter the list items we can use the li tag, and don't forget to close them. So let's say we have an item 1 and maybe an item 2 over here. Let me save it. So this is how it looks. It has been given some bullets, and let's say you do not like that design. Let's say you want to change it. You can go to UL type equal to, let's say, circle within double quotes. You can notice that it has been changed. Let's change it to square. So now the bullet has been changed to square. So the other way of bringing out a list is to use the OL tag, which stands for ordered list. And within the list, let me enter some name, maybe item 1 and item 2. Alright, so by default, OL tags gives you, names it by numbers starting from 1. Let's say you want to change that as well. You just need to click on OL tag and type equal to double quotes, and the Visual Studio is even suggesting something. Let's choose a simple A. So it starts with a simple A in the list. If you choose capital A, it starts with capital A, and we could also use Roman numbers. And yeah, we could also use capital Roman numbers. Okay, so yeah, and let's try to do something interesting. Let's try to bring up a table. So to do that, you need to open a table tag and close it as well. So if we bring up a table, we need to design the first row. So we open up a tr tag and close it. Tr stands for table row, and let's say we're trying to bring up the first column in the first row, and most probably it would be a heading, right? So I'm going to use th, which stands for table heading. I'm going to give out the second column as table heading 2. Let me save it. So you can see the text is bold, and if that's a table, we might need more than one row. So let me create another row, and this time I'm going to input some data. So I'm going to use td, which stands for table data. I'm going to type as table data 1 and table data 2. Let me save it. So this is how it looks for the moment. We don't see the bold lines. To bring up them, you can go to the table tag, write as border equals to, within double quotes you can enter the value. I have entered 1. If I enter 5, it's decent. About 20, it's too much. Let's stay with 5 for the moment. And let's say we want to bring some space between the text and the cell border. To do that, we have to go cell padding equals to double quotes 10. So now you can see there's some space between the text and the border of the cell. So if you want to bring some space between cells, we can use cell spacing. Let me give it a value of 10. So now you can observe that there is some space between each and every cell. Maybe we can change it to 20 to make it more bigger, but yeah, we can design it any way that we wish. Let's say that we are bringing up another cell in the first row. It's a heading, no, let's change it as something like extra heading. Okay, so if we save that, we can see that extra cell in the first row has been placed, and there's nothing in the second row because we haven't entered any data in the cell. So if you do enter something like maybe extra data, it will be shown something like this over here. But let's say that you're trying to bring up the headings in the first column and the data from the second column onwards. To do that, you can just change th as td and td as th wherever necessary. I think I might need to take this one as well. Table heading 2, I'm going to change it to table data. And yes, so we have the first column as the headings now. Now let's do something different. Let's bring up paragraph tag and let's type something random, like this is some more random text here. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to make this text as bold. Oops. Okay, to do that you can use the b tag, and we might need to close the b tag as well. And yeah, maybe we can bring this thing into there. Alright, so if I save that, we might need a space. Okay, so now you can see that that text sum has been bolded. And not only bold, we can also emphasize it by using the italic tag, which is the I tag. And we could also underline a text if we wish, and we need to use a U tag for that. Okay, so that's how it looks. Alright, so I'm gonna give up a bonus material here, which is the pre tag. Okay, so let me type something like something where I need to press enter spaces. So how we write is how we write is matter here in pre. That's just random text. Let me save it, and as you can see, the pre tag, it takes the interspaces, so it looks exactly the way that we type. Alright, let's have a small recap. So we started with doctype HTML, which shows the type of the word HTML that we're using, and we started with the HTML tag, and you can see the final tag is the closing of the HTML tag. And then the next tag was the head tag. We used only the title for that for the moment. And the next important tag was the body tag, and you can see that the body tag was closed just before the HTML was closed. And we also learned about paragraphs, BR, HR, and some lists and tables, how to format some text, like to emphasize it or bold it and underline it as well. And we also looked at the pre-tag. And yeah, that's it for today. Remember, this is day 1. If you are a beginner or someone who wants to revise from scratch to advanced concepts gradually, please don't miss to subscribe to our channel and do post any questions in the comment box below. Thanks for watching, friends. Wait for HTML part 2 tutorial with some exciting coding stuff. Have an amazing day, guys. Please post any questions and don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video.